Hello everyone, my name is Blessing. It took me a lot to share this story with you guys, with everyone listening, both ladies and gentlemen, and everyone listening, watching this video. It took me quite a while to really have the courage to come out and share my story, but I would try my best and you know share my story, and people that want to learn from it can learn, and people that have been thinking about this, what does it mean, you know you can also gain a little knowledge about the whole procedure and everything. Okay, so this is my weight loss journey. How did it all begin? So it began in 2023. We're in 2025, right? Yes. So it began in 2023. So I had gained so much weight because in 2022 I started an IVF procedure. So I went through the egg freezing. That's a story for another day, because I actually had a lot of videos when I was injecting myself, when I was going through all the process of IVF for, to have a baby at the time, even when I did the egg retrieval and everything. But my phone wiped out, and so all the information, my pictures, my videos, everything wiped out early last year, early 2024. And so because of that, I do not have those videos anymore. But yeah, so I gained a lot of weight after my IVF procedure. Like, I am someone that if I take a birth control pill, like one birth control pill I take a day, I'm gonna gain weight. I know there are a lot of women that would be in the same bracket as me. Just some people that can take as many birth control pills and they still remain their usual weight. But I gained a lot of weight after my IVF procedure that failed anyway. So when I did the transfer, after doing the egg freezing, after a while I did the transfer, and I did a frozen embryo transfer. They call it the FET. Very soon I'm gonna say my IVF story also, because I know everything. I went through the process, so I remember a lot of things that happened, and I was gonna tell my story about that. But anyway, I can tell my story without pictures or videos. I still have some of the injections and the other things I used. I still have them up till this minute, so maybe I'll share that story one day. So anyway, I gained over 30 pounds after my IVF journey. So I was gonna do other things. I moved on after the IVF failed. I moved on with my life. I was gonna do other things, and I remember at the time there was a procedure I was supposed to do, and the doctor was like, "Oh, you've gained this amount of weight. You have to lose this amount of weight before you can do the procedure." And I realized that whenever I'm sleeping, it just feels like, I gained so much weight. I couldn't wear my clothes. I was getting to the brink of, like, I wasn't happy at the time. I'm like, I'm someone that likes fashion. I love being fashionable. I love dressing up. At the time, I would go on dates, I just loved being me, being happy, going out and all that. And I couldn't even fit into a lot of my clothes. And it wasn't a good period for me at the time, And so when my husband came back to my life again, the second time, those people that know the story, and we started dating again, and at this time we knew we were going to get married. And so we did all the tests and everything. And this doctor, so when I went to meet this doctor, due to the fact that I realized that when I'm sleeping at night, I didn't want to agree. I was in denial at the time that I had sleep apnea. I didn't want to agree. And so at this time I decided to go for the sleep tests. So I remember at the time, my husband, who was my fiance at the time, was telling me, "Oh, no problem, I will go with you to the sleep test and all that." And we called the clinic. We said, "Do you have two beds? Like, can he sleep on the other bed?" They said, "Yeah, for sure, he can definitely do that, you know." And so we went together. Were we married at the time? I'm trying to remember if we were married at the time. I think we were officially married. We did our court wedding before we now did our wedding reception, you know. So anyways, I remember that night I had a video I took when you were placing all the stuff on my head. Oh my gosh, I lost all those videos. I would have shown you the video right now. So, but anyways, we did the sleep test, and the lady's such an awesome lady that did this test for me, and we just liked ourselves. I and the lady, we got talking and all that, and she said, "We're not gonna wear you this machine right now, but in the night we're going to keep watching you, monitoring you as you sleep. So in the night, if we notice that you're losing your breath, we're going to come and wear you the machine." I was so restless. I was praying, I never want to sleep with this machine. I do not want it, you know. And so I couldn't even sleep. You know, it's a psychological thing. I couldn't even sleep. And I remember my husband at the time, such a nice guy. He was telling me everything is gonna be fine. He was just there for me, you know. And before I knew what, I slept off. And I think it was around 1 a.m. The lady came. I think I slept up like past 12, you know, a.m. And then like 3 a.m. or 2 a.m. or something like that, they came and woke me and said, "I'm sorry, you need to wear this machine." I broke down. I cried. And then I summoned courage. I said, "Okay, let's do it." And then she put it on and I couldn't breathe. People that know my story know how claustrophobic I can be. I couldn't breathe. I'm like, what is going on? You know? And I started crying. I was weeping. And the nurse said, "You don't need to wear this right now, but we're just telling you that this is the process. This is how it goes. If you want to wear it, you can." And I said, "I can't sleep with this thing, you know." And she said, "Okay, it's fine." You know, and they took the machine. I didn't even want to see the machine. I did not want to see it, you know. And so while my husband was there to console me, you know, and all that. And then all of a sudden, right there, I don't know, it just felt like, is it a still small voice or something? I don't know what. But I just told my husband, I said, "I am going to do a weight loss surgery." That was the very first time it ever occurred to me. I don't know if this was after August, because we got married in August of 2023. I'm trying to remember if this thing happened in September or before August, but anyways, that was when it just occurred to me that I was gonna do this thing. You know, I was gonna do, and immediately I told my husband. He was like, "I am gonna support you all the way through." And that was the beginning of my journey, my weight loss journey. At the time, I had a great job, and I didn't know that my job covered that procedure. So I started asking questions. I called hospitals, I called my HR, I called my insurance. They said, "Oh, call your insurance, the number on your ID card." I called, and I remember when I called this lady, no, I saw an advert on Facebook, and this advert was like people that do the weight loss surgery, you know, and all that. And they said it's cheaper. You can go to Las Vegas to do it, you know. And I was looking at that option, and somebody just told me, "Why don't you just ask if your insurance, your medical insurance at work at the time would cover this procedure?" And so I called the insurance people, and when the lady told me, "Your insurance can cover this procedure, but it is based on prior authorization. So your doctor will need to send us documents showing why you require the surgery." I wept. Do you know how expensive that surgery is? I started crying, and this was the what I did was the the gastric sleeve. So they have the gastric sleeve, they have the gastric bypass, and they have another one they call, I can't remember the name, but I did the gastric sleeve. So the gastric sleeve is a process where they reduce the size of your stomach. And so our stomach is 100%. We're born with 100% stomach. People, right? Most everyone. And they take about 80% away from your stomach. And so that way, and they take the part where makes human beings hungry. And so once they take that part, you're going to sustain it. The work does not just start at the point of the surgery. I'm going to come to that later. So anyways, so I had to go through psychological evaluation. It took over 6 months before I finally did the surgery. I went to the doctor. I Googled, I looked online. No one referred me to that hospital. But I looked online, I researched, and I decided I was going to go to this place. And I called them, I booked an appointment with the surgeon, and that was it. Okay, and so they told me all the process. You need to meet with a dietitian, you need to meet with a psychologist, you need to meet with the weight loss medical director, like different people that I met at different appointments all through late 2023 to early 2024. And so that was the process. Like, it wasn't easy. And even though my insurance covered the medication, I was still having to do a copay. I was still paying also, and at the time they told me, like, I think my out of pocket was going to be $2,000. I ended up paying a little more, but I was very grateful because this is a very expensive surgery, and finally, on the 1st of May 2024, I did my surgery. So today makes it exactly 9 months since after my gastric sleeve surgery. Okay, so I remember this was when I am dead, my dearly beloved husband, when we were driving all the way to the hospital. It was very early in the morning, so they told us we had to be there at 6 a.m. And so this was when we were driving. You can see it on the video. So we drove down to the hospital. I wasn't even scared. I was so excited. I was eager. I was ready for the surgery. And then when we got there, no one was outside. We got in, we did all the registration. I gave them my ID card and everything they needed. And look at us, I and Jed. And when we got in, see how big I was there. Anyways, I said, let's take a picture. Let me see how I look before the surgery. And we took pictures, we took videos. My dearly beloved husband was there with me all through. Ladies, let me tell you something. Whatever you do, just marry a man that loves, respects, and adores you. Like, I would say my husband basically worships me. He loves me so much. He's such a great guy, and I'm so excited that I took the decision to get married to him. So anyways, so we went after we did the registration at the reception, signed all the documents, letting them know you are going into the surgery with your full consent, and then the other clinical people came, they took my blood, they did all the blood work. And this was me when they were taking my blood. You can see it right there. And this was when my dear husband was wearing my socks, taking care of me, pampering me, making sure I was, in a good frame of mind and everything was good to go. And yeah, so I already put on my surgical wears, they were prepping me up. For when the surgery will take place, okay? And I remember they wheeled me into the surgery room. And I don't want this video to go long, and this is going to be the part 1. I'm going to do a part 2. I'll post the part 2 we posted on my YouTube channel, and you want to watch that part 2 because this story is going to be a part 1, part 2, and part 3. You don't want to miss it. You want to see videos of all the process, all I went through, and then the part 3 is going to tell us how is it going right now? What do I look like right now? How many pounds have I lost? You know, some people call it kilograms in, you know, but over here in the US we call it pounds. How many pounds have I lost? How is it going? Do I regret the surgery? Am I happy about the surgery? And all those questions that most people that are interested in this surgery might have. I'm not going to tell you my doctor, I'm not going to refer you. So this is a very, very critical surgery. Like, it's not a child's play. If I tell you that this surgery was the most painful I've ever had, you would not believe it. Like, when I woke up, it just felt like they were stabbing my stomach. It was so painful, very, very painful. Okay, so I'm gonna say, do I regret it? Am I happy about it? What do I eat? Do I eat a lot now? You know, what was the process like? So you're gonna hear all those in my part 2 and part 3. Watch out, I'm gonna post my YouTube channel, so you can go follow my page and watch the video as soon as I post the part 2. Okay, thanks for watching, and wait, part 2 will be back. I'll post part 2 of this video shortly. Bye for now.